Hey, welcome back to my channel, Duct Mechanic. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the diagnostics mode and the error code mode on this sort of GE washing machine, so you can quickly figure out what's wrong with the washer and fix it. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Alright, so let's cover how to go into the diagnostics and the error code mode on this sort of washing machine. This is a GE top load washing machine. There's a large variety of this machine, I should say, and what I mean by that is there's some that have this sort of agitator and others that have the traditional spiral type of agitator. This is kind of called a wash plate or a pulsator, but if you're curious, that is the model number to this particular one right there, but this is going to be pretty much applicable to any sort of GE washing machine that has this sort of display. So it's got the binary display right here, and I believe they also have this sort of machine in the black color as well. So let's get to it. Alright, so let's put this thing into diagnostics mode. And inside diagnostics mode, we can get to the error code mode. So that's really helpful that if this thing was to throw an error code and you turn it off and you forgot what error code is, it stores the error codes and you can go back and get to them. So what you'll have to do is you're going to hold down the start button right here, and you're going to turn this one clockwise for 7 clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then let it go. All right, once you let it go, it should flash like that, and then should go into diagnostics mode, and it's in diagnostics mode now. So we're going to toggle it one more to the clockwise direction, and it says 1. So the 1 signifies error code mode. So we're going to go ahead and go into error code mode by making sure this is on 1 and then hitting start. And there we can toggle through the various error codes that whatever your machine has. This control board is from another machine, so it's giving whatever error code was on that one. But so then this would be error code 15. So then you can just do a quick Google search to figure out what that is. I believe that's a temperature sensor on this one. But then you can hit the start button again, and it'll show you the next error code, and so on and so forth. I believe 26 is a balance code, but most likely just due to having the clothing not properly distributed. But this is, once you get these codes, it's easy enough to do a quick Google search to figure out what's going on, and you just keep toggling through them until you get back to the previous code. Now, just be aware that some of these codes are, really old, and unless you actually, there could be that there was a previous issue that's been repaired, but the code wasn't cleared, so it could be from that as well. So don't be too frightened if you see a bunch of codes that are unrelated to the issue that you have. It could be that that's just from the past. Anyways, so what you can do is once you toggle through them all, it should just bring you back to 1 right there, and then you can proceed on to the other parts of the diagnostics mode, which will allow you to test each individual component of the washing machine, or at least the important components that fail of the washing machine, so you can actually figure out what's going on. I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so continuing with this, we're going to go to, like I said, number 1 is the fault code mode. Number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are really not going to be applicable to troubleshooting. It's mostly just making sure that the interface software is up to date, and basically things that are really out of our hands. If any of these issues were happening, you most likely would have to replace the board, or you would need a special tool that GE has to update that software. I don't understand. I don't really think that that's a common enough issue. So we'll go to Number 6, so we'll skip 2, 3, 4, 5 as things that we won't be using. And number 6 is how to test the hot water valve. So we'll press start there, and we should get hot water coming in. And then you can also stop that there. So obviously if you don't get hot water in, you know your hot water valve is bad. And just like that, number 7 is the cold water valve. So I won't go through and test every single one, but I will go through the list and tell you which ones is which. And number 8 is the fabric softener dispenser. Number 9 is the spray jet, which I think is kind of cool. So I will show you how to do that one. So you hit start there and kind of sprays out. I wonder if I can open the lid. Oh, I can. Right on. So that's how you would test that component. Number 10 would be a test of the pressure sensor. And number 11 would be the recirculation pump. So the one that takes the water from the bottom, brings it up to the top again, recirculates it. It's a key component in these high efficiency washing machines. And number 12, a common failure point right here, is the drain pump. So this is really important because, like I said, these things do fail, and a good way to test is to put it on number 12 and see if it drains out the water. As you can hear, it is draining out the water just fine. Number 13, another common failure point on this sort of machine, the infamous lid switch. So you can just hit that and see if it opens and closes the lid switch. After the lid switch, we have number 14, which is the spin. And that's always important, but in order to do the spin, it's going to lock the lid first, then it's going to start spinning. So it does take a while for that to go through. Then you can, it'll go up to, I believe, 750 RPM, then come back down and stop it. Then it'll reopen the lid. So this is kind of a longer test. And number 15 right here is agitate. So I can show that as well. You just hit the start, and it's going to go through its process of sensing it, locking the lid, and beginning to agitate. Is that washing machine agitating? That's number 15 right there. So you can see how this can be really helpful in figuring out whether you have an agitation issue, whether you have a spin issue. Obviously, a spin issue can be caused by a multitude of different things, you know, from a bad motor or a belt, but it can really help you figure out, you know, at least start the troubleshooting process without having to sit there and watch an entire load of laundry. Then you can always stop at any time by hitting the start button, and it should take you right back to the diagnostics mode. And you can, number 16 is pretty much clearing out all of the error codes. So the ones that I showed at the start, when we go to number 1, those error codes, if you hold the start button, it'll clear them all out. I highly recommend doing that after a repair. That way you know that the error codes you see after that repair are actually relevant and not something in the past. I won't do that now, but that's pretty much the error code mode in this sort of GE top load washing machine. That covers all of the useful tests you could do for these components. And then to get back out of this, all you have to do is hit the power button, and we can just go to, and it should just, once you hit power back on, it should be right back to normal. So if you found this video to be helpful, I hope you give this video a thumbs up.